We don't have to end the middle of the sentence, but we will watch the hour today because I want to do this more often.
Yeah, sure. So can I just ask before we get started, how often do you want to do this? Like, do you want to do it every other week? Or?
Yeah, every other week, because I do it also with Michelle. So that would be 4 videos a month, or 5 videos when there are 5 weeks. So I want to have more consistency in my channel, and
Okay.
I think more often but shorter is better for my subscribers than having 2 long videos each month.
That makes perfect sense. You know, you want to keep the attention span. And with videos getting shorter and shorter, you know, we need to do what we can to keep attention.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So,
all right. Mm-hmm.
You had some exams, you said. So is this period over? Did you go? Did you have success? And did you do everything you had to do? And
like, were you successful?
Were you successful?
You could say, did you have success? But it doesn't sound very natural to me.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. I'm here to learn.
I always like to give students, just for the audience at home, I like to not just provide corrections of like grammar and obvious things like that, but I also like to give suggestions for things that sound a bit more natural.
Yeah. Yeah, often there are expressions like getting things done, and in other languages there's only one word to say this, and you can't really translate it. You just have to know this expression.
Absolutely. Every language has their own, even like untranslatable terms or expressions, or if you translate it literally, it makes absolutely no sense in the other language, or it sounds very strange. Like, for example, if you were to formulate German with an English structure, it just makes absolutely no sense in German.
Yeah, some people can understand it, but only if they know English and German very well, and they know which mistakes normally learners make. So then you can think, why did he say it like this? Okay, in his language it's like this. So
that's what really helps as a tutor. And I think maybe you can understand this because you're also a language tutor and you also speak other languages, is that when you learn another language, when you hear a student make a certain mistake and you speak their language, you know why they're making that mistake. And you know, like, I have a lot of Spanish and Portuguese speakers, and I also speak Spanish and Portuguese. So I know why they make the mistakes that they do.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, sure. I asked you, does that happen a lot where you do speak a student's language and they make a mistake in German and you know why? Because you speak their language.
Yeah, especially the word order. So most languages have the word order subject, predicate, object. But then in German, when you have a subordinate clause, you put the verb in the end.
Yes.
But most say, because I have, and then they translate it literally, because they're not used to saying such long sentences in German.
German sentence structure, when I first learned it, honestly, I wanted to throw my grammar book across the table. I'll be totally honest with you.
Yeah, there are many rules, and then to those rules there are many exceptions, and it's really annoying in the beginning.
I'd say the most challenging thing about German for foreigners, at least for me, was the pronunciation.
Yeah.
I like gargle a little bit of water before I got started. And the sentence structure.
Yeah.
It's and to an extent the cases, but then I started learning Russian and I was like, well, you know what? German cases aren't so bad.
Yeah. Russian is the worst experience you can have as a language learner.
Oh, it's
Except
so
if you learn Chinese. I don't learn Chinese, but I think that's worse.
Oh, that has their own, they have their own unique challenges though. Like they don't have cases, but they have tones.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I just wanted to say we're past 5 minutes now. Would you like to
Yeah.
keep going or?
That's been so fast over. I don't know how the time could pass so fast.
Yeah, because we both are discussing a similar interest that we have.
Yeah, that's right. I only wanted to say, as I'm a teacher at a school now, I only wanted to say that's also a big challenge because now that I have classes and every pupil is at a different level and makes different mistakes, and we don't have a lot of time. That's so challenges. It's so challenging. I didn't have any challenge like that before.
Yeah,
Especially
accommodating.
of having a class that didn't have any German lessons for 4 months, and then having pupils that don't speak a word, and others that listen and get it at the same moment, and that's so challenging.
Accommodating to each level is very challenging, especially if they
Yeah.
have not visited the language in a while and then they come back.
Yeah.
So it's interesting accommodating to that level, and they make a lot more mistakes, and you have to kind of gently. But I understand, and I feel like we have more compassion because we've been there. I've unfortunately had to take a break from language learning because of my studies. So it'll be interesting coming back to see where my level's at now.
Yeah. I think you will be surprised what you still know, and you will be grateful that you have had learned so much before, because many things will return very fast.
I find that is so, especially so with languages that you are either at a high level in my case, Spanish, or intermediate, in my case, like German, Portuguese. I thought I'd completely lost my French. Maybe I know more French than I do.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I lost it when I got better at Spanish when I lived on Tenerife, and then I had the French structure and grammar, but I replaced all the words by Spanish words with a French ending or something.
replaced with with the French ending. You mean like the Spanish words with the French ending?
For example, I didn't remember acheter, so I said comprer, because it's comprar.
Oh.
So I couldn't remember French words. I only knew how they were normally constructed.
Instead of okay, so you'd like switch them up. So say instead of comprar.
Yeah, I said j'ai compris.
Oh, I say all the time j'entends, but my French teacher always says no, because j'entends means like I hear, but in Spanish it's normal to say entiendo, like I understand, but j'entends means like I hear you.
Yeah.
Whereas you can say comprendo in Spanish, but it is not very natural.
Sounds not so natural, yeah.
I make that mistake all the time. Thankfully, one of my tutors is fluent in Spanish as well, so she understands that mistake. And I will sometimes use the Spanish word and say, how do you say that in French?
I do that also when I say the correct word. Sometimes, for example, in Italian, I say, well, literally translated, it's how do you say this word in Italian? And this word is the Italian word. And then she says, but it's Italian. And I say, okay, I thought it were Spanish. It's not, okay.
Oh, and then you mix up, this happens to me all the time in Italian, yeah. Like I use the Spanish word and my tutor will say, no, non è italiano.
Yes.
No, españolo. that's Spanish. That's not Italian. That's Italiano.
Yeah, that's normal because it's so similar. Yeah.
They're Portuguese even worse.
Portuguese, yeah, I have to learn Portuguese one day, but I want to get better at Italian and Russian before I start a new language, because 2 languages at a low level, that's already a lot.
I really need to focus on my Russian. Like at
Yeah.
least be a comfortable level, like where I feel good enough to have a conversation without stumbling through my grammar. Because
Yeah.
I've been there for years and it's very frustrating.
You might be interested maybe in having a language learning partner who wants to get better at English.
I've been considering it, yeah. Maybe I've been considering maybe on italki just checking out like, hey, any Russian speakers want to like hear me stumble through my Russian as they speak perfect English?
Because actually I know one of my 3 Russian friends, Elena, she writes books for language learners, and her English partner at the moment doesn't have any time because she has a baby. So she could be interested in having another language partner.
Sure.
Should I ask her?
Is she in Russia or is she in another time
She's
zone?
in Moscow, yes.
Oh, okay, that's a pretty big time zone difference. 7 hours, or is it the same as you?
She barely any sleeps, so
she barely sleeps. Yeah. What's her English level?
She teaches beginners.
Okay.
So
beginners of Russian or beginners of English?
Beginners of English.
Okay. So I
she
assume
teaches Russian.
I assume her English is intermediate?
Yeah, I think B2 more or less.
So her English is better than my Russian. I don't know if that's a fair.
Maybe, yeah, but sometimes she mixes everything up, and she's like me in many languages. I mix things up, and then I think I'm speaking that language. So yeah.
And by the way, if you, first of all, you are still recording, so I'm not sure if you'd like to continue.
Yeah. We just rolled it up, or how do you say?
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up, yeah. I knew there was a wrap, but I think
it's an English expression, yeah.
Yeah, so let's wrap it up. I think that was a really interesting topic, and I'd love to speak more about that another time. But
sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you stopped this, or have you stopped the recording? It says that you're stopping.
I will stop it now. Yeah. So bye, my subscribers. Have a nice day.
Bye bye. You as well. Have a great day to all of you.